I am now more invested in how long this failure streak can go than anything else. I'll just be transparent about this. G'day! I'm Dave, and I am the Keeper of Arcane Lore for Call of Cthulhu on Chaosium Stream of Chaos. Now today we're playing the final of 3 scenarios in Gateways to Terror, The Dead Border. Now you can pick up a copy of Gateways to Terror, either physical or PDF, whatever you prefer, from chaosium.com. I'd also like to thank Roll20, Sirenscape, and Web Captioner for being great tools that we use to run Call of Cthulhu. There are links to all of these sites in the description. Now, as we jump into today's game, and I get rid of some of this jaunty music, the year is 1931, and the 3 of you live in Providence, Rhode Island, and times are pretty tough. The Great Depression means that money is tight, and you kind of have to make do with very, very little. It's early in the morning, 10 or 11, that's early for some, especially some of our... Because not all of you live on site. Rocco, I think you have your own home nearby. Herb and Martha, you live inside the boarding house. Or do you think you live inside as well? Up to you.
My character sheet informs me that I live in Marshank's boarding house.
Oh, you're perfect. All right, then in that case, you're all nearby. You've had sort of breakfast, and you've noticed that one of your the other residents hasn't been seen in several days. A Mr. James Gardner. Everyone's getting pretty concerned for his well-being. So, Herb, you've been given the keys to his room from Marshanks herself, and the 3 of you have gone up to the 2nd story, and you're all standing outside of his door. You knock again, just to be polite and make sure that he isn't inside and doesn't want to be disturbed, and then rattle the keys in the lock and slowly open the door. The lingering smell of like burnt out candles wafts around the door as you pull it open, and it carries with it something sickly sweet and copper-like. Looking in, you immediately see a shocking scene. Framed in the shafts of sunlight which stream down through gaps in the curtain is a body. The corpse is laying out on like a stretched tarpaulin, and you can see that there is blood spewed across the floor all around it. The man's body and clothing is covered in it, and one of his right hands is positively caked in like the dried matter. It seems as if he sort of fell over from a kneeling position, and based on what he's wearing, a little green tweed coat and like a sweater vest, this man is clearly James Gardner. As we introduce all of your characters, can you all immediately make a sanity roll for me? And then we'll go around the table, tell us what you look like and how you're reacting to this scene. If you fail, you're going to take a D4. If you succeed, only 1 point. And let that kind of determine how you feel.
Okay. Not so good.
All right,
on my
not
end.
so good on some of you. So, Art, why don't you begin?
Hello, I'm Art. I am playing Mrs. Martha Birch, who is 50-something, but admits to 45. She is dressed simply for the times. If we're talking like 1920s, would be sort of like tans and greens and probably a kind of like knit cardigan and like, you know, just below the knees kind of skirt and stockings and sensible shoes. And given that I succeeded in my sanity check, she is a widower and her husband did die of influenza. So dead bodies in various states of not great, because I'm pretty sure that is unpleasant on the lungs and the everything. It's not, I wouldn't say it's, you know, she's seen this before, but she's like, oh dear. That's unfortunate. But
Here
like,
it goes again.
Dead people, she's lived a while. She's seen a few. The war happened, you know?
And I mean, several days without hearing from someone, you may have begun to expect that this might be what you saw inside. What is your reason for pursuing Mr. James Gardner? Not everyone would take time out of their day to call in on a missing, not even colleague, just boarder in a house.
I mean, he's part of the community of the house, and it's important that community looks out for one another. also I'm very interested in what he's been doing inside his room.
That's fairly wholesome. That's good. A little bit of snooping around never hurt anybody. All right.
Looking, not snooping.
That's right.
Looking.
That's right. Please correct me if I make the mistake again.
I will, young man. I will.
We see Martha stepping inside first, and she's still pretty well held together. And shortly behind her, Jackson.
Hey, I'm Jackson, and I am playing Rocco the Grocer Penella. Rocco is a business associate of all kinds of legitimate business that does not relate at all with the bootleg sale of a grain-based alcohol. Where did you get that idea from? He would like to be as sharp as, all the gangsters that are going to appear in the mafia movies one day. But he's just fallen on hard times, as most of the country has. So his suit is a bit faded. His fedora is quite battered. But in a sense, it's kind of almost too shabby. Because the truth of the matter is he's had to do some dodgy accounting recently. So he's actually put a lot more effort into looking shabbier than perhaps he need be.
Make sure the tax agents don't get onto you. I liked the opening sprawl because I imagine the whole thing in just layers and layers of quotation marks for every other word. So do you have a particular reason to be calling on a Mr. James Gardner? I mean, this man was an upstanding citizen.
He was also a very good accountant, and it turns out that we had a gentleman's agreement. They call Rocco the Grocer because he can get things for you, no questions asked. So maybe I've got a few things for him, and maybe he helped me out with some, shall we say, creative accounting for a while. But he still owes me a few things. So I got to follow up on that.
All makes sense.
And seeing the body, it's kind of a shock because it looks like execution style. Like it looks like he was kneeling and then he was cut down. So it's like this big shock that Rocco sees his workers followed him home.
That's perfect. So Martha steps through the door and Rocco pauses for a moment, recognizing some pieces of the scene. And then behind him, James.
Yes, I am James, and I am playing Herbert Walker, the bookstore owner. I am, like a shorter man with a very well manicured remaining bit of hair around a prestigious bald spot. I'm wearing a tweed jacket, tweed pants, or tweed shirt. I look very professorial, and as I see the body, I'm gonna go, stagger backwards, clutching at my chest, having to lean on the banister of the floor outside. I'm here because that man has my books, several of them that I have to get back. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to sell them to someone who wants them, and then I'll go broke. To be clear, he borrowed them, so when I dart into that room in a second and start ransacking the place to try and find them, I'm not stealing, I'm recovering.
That's right. Overdue library fees are really bloody ruthless, and if anything, you're going to help the man out here.
You understand me exactly.
That'll make sense. So, Jim, why don't you also go ahead and roll a d4 for me? So we'll see the exact sanity loss, because throughout the scenario, we may see a little bit of a bout of madness. No! Perfect. And all right, I'm going to throw us all over to the map in Roll20, which you should all now be able to see. So this
quite
is...
a dead person.
Oh yeah, he's very, very dead. So this is the layout of the room. You can see that there is a bed, which is sort of he's relocated a cupboard in front of to kind of give it a sleeping nook and kind of break up the room a little bit. To the left, there's a wardrobe. Across the room, there's a small window and some curtains across it, a radiator before it. And then over to the right, there's cupboards with which have cutlery and a cooktop underneath it. Directly to the south, there's a sitting area and then a table with some sort of journals and notes and things. And the elephant or corpse in the room is, of course, the dead man. sprawled in the center. Now, just to throw another wrench in the works, as the three of you step inside, Herbert, you're the last to enter. A small, fat-cheeked, red-headed child with a spattering of freckles all across his face steps out, and this is Tommy. He is Marshank's grandchild, and he helps out around the area. He peeks his head into the room, sees the body, and he goes, "Oh boy, a body! I better go get my detective gear."
Just one moment there. Why don't you go get your detective gear, then come back and we'll discuss exactly how you can best help. We'll get you to go to the authorities and get a real detective, and then I'll turn back to the others in about 15 minutes. And kind of motioned at the door.
Usher the child away.
Usher the child out and push shut the door. Sort of, maybe we'd best look around for just a moment before we get anyone else involved.
So as you mentioned the authorities, the young child says, "Yeah, I can go get the cars. I run real fast. I mean, you should just see me go."
Well, make sure you put on your detective outfit first, otherwise they might not listen to you.
Do you want to give me a persuasion check, James?
I'm trying to slow this kid down as much as possible.
No, that's a good idea.
So that we get as much time as we can inside the room.
The cops should arrive eventually. There's no reason for
Yeah.
it to be hurried.
Sure.
Is there a phone in the boarding house, or I guess not?
There probably would be, yeah, but if you can send the kid on foot, also getting through to an officer and explaining everything.
I've gotten an 18 over 10 because I'm not particularly persuasive, but I'm going to
Yep.
give you 8 points of luck, David,
Okay.
to succeed this roll.
All right. The little fella, eager to show off his detective outfit, runs back to his room, and they are actually based just across the landing in another room. He opens it, and you can see the woman inside, Marshanks herself, who lets the kid in and just looks out, and a lot of you quickly before closing the door, and he's going to get dressed. All right. I pass it to the three of you. What would you like to look at first?
Well, I'll turn to the others and I'll just say, look, we only have a few minutes. I need to recover some affairs from this room. I can't have it tied up indefinitely by the police. So with all due respect, I'll start bustling. I'm going to head to that book next to the bed that I can see sitting there.
Oh, yep, definitely. All right, so you're going to go and have a look at his bedside table and the bed
Specifically, I'm
sitting
just
area.
going to look at any books in the room. I start with that book. Next, I go to the book that's sitting on the desk. Next, I'll go to the cupboard. Books.
Yep, definitely. All right, so you're going to head towards there. Do you want to give me a... What sounds good? Give me a spot hidden check, or that the bookcase that he's moved in front of the bed to make the nook is filled with his collection as well. You can give me a library use roll to begin to filter through that if you'd
Let's
like.
go with a library use check. That would be a fail. Not a fumble, because I'm quite good at library use, but a fail all the same.
A fail all the same. All right, let's leave you there. You might want to consider pushing it. It's up to you. But Martha and Rocco, what's your instinct?
I think he got whacked, and I will say as much. Yeah, looks like he got whacked. I don't like it. Smells fishy. Everyone be on your toes here. We don't know who else is creeping around. Maybe whoever whacked him wants to keep a close eye on any associates of him as well. Let me have a look at the body.
Don't exactly talk like a grocer, do you, Rocco?
They call me the grocer because I can get things, no questions asked, see?
Oh, I see. Did you get things for Mr. Gardner then?
Yeah, we had an arrangement. And that's all I'm at liberty to discuss. Do I need to call a lawyer?
No, I'm just interested. That's all. I haven't had a chance to chat a lot previously. It's just nice to get to know you.
Yeah, can't imagine why.
I like people. Martha is going to kind of do the slightly older person, not waddle, but just shuffle over to the table just inside the door, and is going to have a look at the letters and the paraphernalia.
Okay, all right.
That.
So you head over to a little like a long table. It contains you can see correspondence, like letters that are sent and received, as well as like paper and pens, envelopes, anywhere that he would write letters to his friends, family, whatever. You can begin to rifle through those and see if there's anything of note. Rocco.
I would also like to say that I am looking for books.
Okay. Specific ones.
Because of reasons.
Sure. Okay. Reasons accepted. Noted. Rocco, you're going to look through the body. Do you have any first aid or medicine skills?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 50
hey.
first aid.
All right, nice. Why don't you give me a first aid check, and Martha, can you go for spot hidden, please? And if you feel like something else would suit, please just let me know.
Oh.
Okay,
Not so
all
good
right.
on the first aid, not so good in the spot hidden, not so good in the library is.
Sometimes these things happen, I suppose.
I don't know
All
if my
right.
skills make any sense. I'm sorry. Just looking through and I'm like, why am I useless at listening, but I have 70 in survival?
Because when they
Oh.
dropped you in the desert, you survived for
And
30
the-
days and 30 nights.
And 60 in natural world. What the? Am I literally
no.
just like?
Oh, well,
Clearly, this is not
only-
a mild-mannered neighbor. This is a
No,
spec ops
it's really
first
not.
plant.
You know, I only have 50 in natural world, so you know we're gonna
Oh dear. Perhaps the stats have got mixed around between different character at some point.
Very
All right.
bizarre. But anyway, we'll continue on, Mary.
So, let's take it one at a time. Herb. I keep wanting to say
Yeah,
Herb.
sorry, Herbert. Herb to his friends, so you can refer to him as Herbert, please.
Thanks.
Could I please immediately request that I just push this roll? I'm only going to be here for so Herb is only going to be here for a few minutes, so I'm throwing books off. I don't care if I make a mess. I'm going to be gone by the time it's here.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead and push the roll.
Okay, and I'm going for the penalty being, I'm
Disaster area.
tossing the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop throwing books behind me.
All right, you start with the nightstand, and rather than, there's no subtlety, you just get to it, wrench open the drawer, and just start shaking it, upending things all across the bed, which was all nicely made. You rifle through it, and you do find one of the books immediately. It is called The Dreamer's Dictionary, and it's one of the books that you were looking for. You hold it aloft, and there's also some like random bottles and things, but nothing of note to you. You spin around to the ornate bookcase and you begin to just like scoop one hand behind the book line and then just run it along the shelf so everything thumps down to the ground one after the other, and then kicking through the books on the floor, you're looking for any of the covers that you recognize, severely damaging the others in the process.
There's no chance that any of these are first editions, David.
No.
I couldn't care.
No, he couldn't afford them. I will say you actually do succeed because there's some things you'll notice without success, so you'll get some information.
I'm already
there
at
are,
25%. I'm at 1 out of my 4 books.
you can see that there are several books which are sort of focused on travel to obscure places, and also some which deal with the occult. One is titled Myths and Legends of Ancient Greece and Rome, and the other is titled The Interpretations of Dreams by Sigmund Freud.
I'm 75% there.
Are those both yours?
The 3 of the books are going to pick them up and clutch them to me like newborn children.
All right, you're good. Yeah, you grab all those, and across the rest of the bookcase, another thing you notice, and this is what's going to happen with this is one of the drawbacks of your pushed roll. Something on the upper level tips for a moment, and as it falls, you reach out instinctively to grab it, and in your hands is a small statue of like a hunched over figure curled in around itself, and it has these bat-like wings which tuck in under its pudgy little arms, and its face is a mass of tentacles. As soon as you catch it, I need you to make a power roll.
Sure, I'm sure that this tentacled creature isn't anything at all that I should be worried about.
It's just
Sounds familiar though.
I'm a
Does
little
little,
worried
doesn't
that
it?
you immediately put tokens on the map as soon as I touch
Pay
this
no
statue.
mind to the tokens, James. Pay no mind to the tokens.
Paying a lot of mind to the tokens. If we're at 7 to 7 failed rolls here.
Yeah, which is good. You rolled well on your
this-
luck, so this is due punishment.
Does this feel like a roll I should luck?
It's not terrible, but it's up to you.
I'll tell you what, I've
Fine,
got
it's
it. Let's burn it. I rolled well on my luck. You can take
Okay.
7 points of luck and I'll succeed.
Okay. For a
it's
moment,
just a
as you
really
catch it, sorry, go ahead, Art.
It's fine. It's just a really big squid.
Squid friend. You catch it, and this statue, which has been sitting on a bookshelf for who knows how long, there's like a dust residue where it was lying, clearly hasn't been moved, is wet to the touch. And as soon as you catch it, your mind like clicks for a moment, just like you blinked, and there's darkness that shrouds you. But because you succeed the roll, there's nothing more that comes. However, Rocco and Martha, you hear from across the room, Herbert, when you kind of come back just for a moment, you let out a deep like as you draw in breath again, as if you've been holding it underwater for some time. You yourself aren't wet, but the object in your hands is slightly clammy. Go ahead and make a quick sanity roll for me.
Sure.
But apart from that,
It's a little interesting, isn't it?
just take 1
92.
point. It's just a little weird. Just a little weird.
Just a little weird. All right, thank you.
All right. So Martha, you're looking at the table. It's pretty well organized. The man clearly prides himself on laying things out, and the rest of the room reflects this. His like little table in the north has like his cutlery set aside to it for when he takes his meals. So going through this, you can find one is a note that you immediately recognize is addressed from one Rocco Panella. Apart from that, there is one from a bank manager somewhere in Scotland, and then just sort of like miscellaneous, a lot from Scotland and England, where he's originally from. Scotland rather, but with all in English is the what I was supposed to say there. What of these do you open and read? Investigate.
I'm going to pocket Rocco's.
Wait,
And I'm going to open. You said there was one from a bank manager, one from.
One from a bank manager, and then just sort of like miscellaneous friends and family getting in touch.
I'll open one from the bank manager.
Sure. There's a little knife on the desk as you open up the paper and look inside. It is talking about his dwindling bank funds, and from what you can see, Mr. Gardner is pennies away from just complete financial devastation. The man has no money to his name, and there's no feasible way that like he could continue to live in the boarding house or really anywhere. Additionally, it seems as if he's not been putting any money in, only withdrawing it over the last 6 months or so. And he had money 6 months or so. And if he'd stretched that thin, like everyone else has been doing throughout this period, he could have survived a while longer. But instead, he seems to have been taking out hefty chunks of cash with seemingly no concern for what
Is
will
there
happen
any-
when it hits zero.
Does this have enough information in it about like what the funds were removed for, or is it more just like they were removed?
You could make. Do you have any financial skills or anything? If you have a role that would suit. Otherwise,
I have accounting.
yeah, that will 100% suit. Go for accounting. Yeah, that's consistent with the previous roles at least, so that's good.
I mean, I could attempt to push it, but I feel like at this point we're just gonna end up with a lot of failures and not much to show for it. Also, I don't know what pushing an accounting role would look like.
Yeah. Pushing an accounting role is probably just sitting down and refusing to do anything else for a while. Otherwise, it's getting help maybe from Rocco and him seeing the letter which you've pocketed, which could lead to an altercation.
Well, I don't want that to happen. Fuck it, drive it like you stole it, right? This is the point of one shot. So I'm just gonna push it. Probably I would lean towards more the she gets absorbed for a little while. But of course, it's in your hands.
Always.
All
All right.
taking the roll. We are 90% of the rolls in this 9 out of 10. Oh, I'm sorry. 10 out of 11.
Don't use luck.
can only go up from here.
Better, but not enough.
All right.
So
I do love the wall of red we're developing. So you sit down and you begin to spend some time, and we'll park you there for a moment. There is a small clock seated on the desk, which is slowly ticking through the day, and it's driving you mental. All the same, you're crossing things out, trying to work out figures. Unfortunately, there just isn't a ton of information in it, and the accountant you're just not getting a ton of detail. They're coming out in significant chunks, $50 to $100, which is, of the time, obviously fairly significant. So they're large purchases probably, or he's stockpiling them in cash. But you're pretty sure he's not just moving these to another bank account or anything, though. So he is using this money. All right, Rocco. So you move over to the body on the floor as Herbert slams books into the ground and Martha just pile drives into paperwork. The man, you can see immediately, without rolling, that there is a deep spiraling cut that begins just below his hairline, like he's being scalped, and then runs down along past his ear to the back of his neck, and then jagged slash across the neck where the blood was let out, and then it continues back down towards his shoulder and then underneath his little tweed jacket. Additionally, you can see that his shirt is just completely soaked in blood, but most of it is dry. This presumably happened a day or two ago at least. After that, I think you failed your first aid roll, consistent with all the other rolls. Let's just go for a little tour through the rolls. There was one roll, and it was the first one. It was Martha's sanity.
I'm quite sane, thank you very much.
The only one who is.
I will not have people cast aspersions on my mental capabilities.
So Rocco, are you interested in spending some luck?
It.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
You accidentally kill him better.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend 38 points of luck, no, just to see what happened to the body. I am going to flip it over and risk getting blood everywhere and, like, shaking his clothes loose and making it look like it was a much more violent scene than it was.
The police are going to arrive, and we're going to say it was clearly a robbery.
I guess I'm going to end up covered in blood if I fail this one,
Are you
right?
also going to have to make sanity rolls if you fail? Because that sounds pretty messed up.
Not when you're in my line of work.
Your line of work being the big problem if the police arrive and find you ransacking a corpse. Alright, let's push that roll.
I want to be the one to turn this run around. I got 50 first aid. I failed the first one, so I have to succeed the second one. That's how maths works.
That's how coins work.
Yeah.
The wall of red.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
It was close.
I love the fact that not even is it like a failure. Roll 20 is like, if you didn't push this, you could have spent 3 points of luck, but you can't. Fuck you.
All right. You like flip the corpse over, and as it does, a knife, like this chipped obsidian blade that was wedged down his sleeve, swings out. And Martha, can you make a dodge roll as a knife comes flying across the room?
Please explain why I am having to deal with someone else's failure.
For it amuses me.
Because you stole my letter.
Yeah, all right.
Nice.
It wedges into the back of the chair that you like dragged around, but enough of it drives through to deal. Let's do a point of damage, nothing significant. But you have just been stabbed by a knife flung across the room. The body, meanwhile, like wetly thuds against the side. The neck breaks further. You can see a couple of coins that were inside the pocket sort of scatter out. And Rocco, when Martha looks over to look at you, you have blood all over your hands. A bit of it's like splattered up the side of your neck, and your clothes are just completely ruined. You notice nothing of significance.
Yep.
the police are going to arrive, and we're going to say, "Oh, clearly a robbery. Look, the room's been trashed. You know, the knives were. It was a struggle." Oh, God.
I feel like both the fact that she just got stabbed by a knife and the fact there's a lot of books falling down probably shakes Martha from her reverie of accounting.
And you know what? Fuck this. Yeah. All right. Sensational work, everyone. Herbert, the book that you have, which is the Dream Journal, can be read. If you want to have a flick through that, but if you're just on a book-fueled frenzy, you can throw yourself to another area of the room. What's everyone's next actions? Outside, you have at one point heard Tommy marching past on his way to go and get the police. They should be here in a little bit.
Okay, well, we got to be quick then. I'll wander back into the middle of the room, look around, cast no judgment, for only they without sins shall cast the first stone. There's some scraps of paper I can see on this map, Dave. There's one right in front of the body that looks like it's just at the front of the bloodstain, and there's another one under the knife on the table, the knife and fork next to the plate.
The knife and fork one is just a serviette, but underneath the body there is definitely some stuff. Do you want to give me a spot hidden roll as you go over to the desecrated corpse?
Sure. Excuse me, sir, as I try to edge past the grocer.
Yeah, all right. Just don't disturb the body too much, all right?
I mean, at this stage, what are we looking at? More failures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 failures out of 14.
That's it. That's the unlucky number, so it's
out of your system.
It's a baker's dozen of failures. What? It's lovely. Just, some nice man with bread is like, would you like to fail a lot?
Okay. I am now more invested in how long this failure streak can go than anything else. I'll just be transparent about this. Herbert, you begin to look through the things. You have failed your initial roll. Rocco and Martha, what are your next actions? And how will they lead to disaster?
Listen up. I don't mind sharing heads over here. Seems like we're going to have to work together. I can tell we've all got a vested interest in finding some stuff around here, so I think if the coppers are on the way, we gotta work together to get what we want and get out of here. We all agreed?
I agree entirely.
All right then. The thing is,
Wait, and I'll spin my eyes to gaze towards our companion who has not yet explicitly agreed and raise an eyebrow conspiratorially.
Looking at me like that for?
I'm trying to draw you into our conspiracy is such an ugly word. Cult?
You seem, I mean...
cooperative. It's a cooperative.
Oh,
I like that much better.
Why, Mr. Walker, you seem very concerned about getting some books. Are they yours?
Pardon me, are they what?
Yours.
Yes, they're mine. I have all the bills of sale in my office. I can prove that they're mine utterly, but they're very, very rare, and I have a client who wants to buy them. I mean, just look at these, and I'll sort of spread out the book.
You're taking books back from someone you gave them to in order to sell them to someone else. Is that right?
No, he borrowed them. He didn't buy them. Borrowed.
I see. Is that one in German?
Which ones do I have?
Probably Freud.
Yeah. So you have a couple. Freud's one is very much in German.
Yes. This is about the interpretation of dreams, and I'll place it on the desk.
Oh no, I can read German. I know.
Oh, fantastic. Would you take a look if you should wish? This is the rarest one, so be very careful with it. And I'll point to the dream.
I will. Yes, apparently, because I don't understand my character skills, I speak German better than I speak English.
Or you might be originally German. Or you have a love for the culture, and you've thrown yourself into
I love
it.
all of this. This whole character is bananas. I am in love with Martha. She's gonna take the book. And
She's gonna
having
flee to
done a very
Germany.
good job of distracting the two others from agreeing to fucking anything, she's gonna sit down and have a read.
Okay, so you're gonna have a look through the Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud. Okay. I'm actually realizing, Herb, I don't know if I explicitly said that you found a dream journal when you were going through it. So there's another one. It's not one of the ones you're seeking. It is just Gardner's dream journal. It's where he writes down, Dear Diary, tonight I whatever. So it's one of his that was in the bedside drawer. I think you found it when you exploded the drawers and you just grabbed any book.
Because I have a book on my list, which the rare one I'm looking for is called The Dreamer's Dictionary. I thought you said that I found that one. Yep.
You did. Sorry, no, that was me misspeaking. They were both next to one another because he's using them in tandem.
Ah, okay, perfect. If there's a dream journal, then I actually have a dream interpretation skill. So I might go over and give that a try. My only other option was, suggest that I push my spot hidden roll and, I don't know, fall over and break the table or something.
That's not necessarily over. I just want to see what everyone's doing. So Martha's going to get the Sigmund Freud book and you go, I hate accounting. Then you sit down for a nice lengthy session of German psychology. Rocco, what are you doing?
All right. Well, as it happens, I'm looking for a book as well. All right, not a published fancy pants one. Just a numbers book. I also lent to Mr. Gardner. So if everyone can keep an eye out for that, we'll all get out of here faster. All right?
Numbers, as in accounting.
Yeah.
Mr. Rocco.
Why? What you got over there?
Oh, just a Freud's interpretation of dreams. But I'm quite good at accounting.
Yeah, right. Well, it's just some receipts and some numbers I had to get him to crunch for me.
Oh, I see.
And as I'm saying that, I'll probably quietly go over and, after I've said that, pocket the obsidian knife that got planted in the chair.
Okay. Do you want to give me a sleight of hand roll?
So
you
I
can
am
grab that without anyone noticing.
Keen to do that with a 30. What could go wrong?
Very good. So, Martha, you watch Rocco step towards you very suavely, and then behind his back, you can see him, fidgeting. It's kind of wedged in there as he tries to palm it without looking at you.
I feel like, also, I got stabbed by it. I'm aware it's there.
Yeah. He then coyly pockets it without saying anything.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Smooth.
Rocco, smooth as butter. No one noticed.
Smooth operator.
All right. Martha, do you want to give me a language German check?
In the interest of preserving the streak, I have to speak up. If it's in German, is a language German check really needed?
Oh, why? Because you don't want Martha to roll something that she's actually good at?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a success.
Yes,
if you're fluent in
unfortunately.
German, it's just a book. It's not a hard book.
No, it is, because she's trying to interpret it.
All aboard the failed train! Stopping at no stations.
We've had some disastrous rolls in the past. This easily takes the fucking cake.
15 consecutive fails.
And the only one that succeeded was Martha's sanity at the beginning.
You know what?
Being the dead body.
I'm gonna push it.
All right, hang on. Let me leave you there for just a moment. So you're going through this very, very dense book in German. Even if it was in English or whatever your native tongue, it is dry. It is tedious.
I
It
would
is slow
be
to work
worse
through.
at this in English. My English is 40.
Oh yeah. All right. Well then, it's just horribly, horribly dry, and it takes a sort of mind crunching to even pay attention to it. Just briefly, Rocco, what are you doing? You've got the knife, smooth as butter.
Knife, very smooth. Martha's already gone over the entire writing desk, right?
Yes.
And I can't easily spot my ledger there.
No, you could have. There's a row of cupboards above, the hot plate and things, where something might be sequestered. There is also the wardrobe in the bottom left of the map. Let's go to the map quickly. In that bottom left, where he might have, in theory, what he was working on was, for you, let's just say, illegal. So he probably kept it hidden.
Yeah, I like the wardrobe. Let's go for the wardrobe.
All right. So a couple things happened because Herb, zip, you had a look at the note next to those candles just there, and even with your failure, one of thousands, you'll notice a bit. So This tarp has been spread out across a really, really nice rug. It's probably the most valuable thing in the room. And it's preserved most of it from the blood. Unfortunately, the tarp didn't account for Rocco, the grosser Penella, coming in and like just swinging the body about. So now it's scattered with gore and needs a hefty dry clean before it's ever going to be usable again. The paper that you can find, I'm going to immediately give it to you because it's right there. So I'm passing you a handout. It is written in a language I don't think you recognize.
Right.
You should now be able to see that on screen. Can you see that?
Oh my. Would this language possibly be ancient Greek, David? Because if it is, I do speak ancient Greek.
That is
It is.
absolutely Greek.
I don't know, it's all Greek to me.
Nice.
Also, Rocco, you should change your moniker to the Painter now, since you're so good at blanketing a room with blood.
I resemble that
Oh,
remark.
pretty gross.
Apart from that, there's a couple of candles which were like scattered down, but you don't notice anything around the body or otherwise. You can give me a language Greek roll.
Yes, I do explicitly have language ancient Greek at 40.
That's good. It's
Here we
either
go.
or.
How often do you get to roll language
Come on,
ancient
fail.
Yes. I don't understand. Oh,
This streak has to
It's the
stop.
Three Stooges attempting to solve an investigation.
You just look at it. Yeah. Don't know what that says.
Maybe we should just get the police. Maybe we should.
I
wait
don't know
for Tommy
if
to
it's
get back.
available, but Dave, if the Benny Hill theme is at all on Silent Escape, could we please?
We will get
So-
copyright struck.
Directed by the chat, I've crunched the numbers here.
Have you got it?
My maths could be wrong, but I've added up all
But
of
we
the
don't
chances of
have
failure for all of the rolls so far.
Because it's got to be, it's
And
the chance of failing one, then you have to
Yeah.
do the chance of failing the next one, and they keep going. I
You
mean, even
multiply
four
them
in a
together,
row,
right?
Because there's the skill distribution, obviously.
even four in a
Yes.
row is tiny.
But you multiply them together, right? So the first roll is 50% chance of failure. The next roll is a 40% chance of failure.
right, that's
So the
right, that's
chance of failing both of them is that times that, right?
Yeah, what's it look like?
0.0015%.
We can get that lower.
One in
We're
one
still
in
good.
10,000, or is that 1 in 100,000?
Yeah, that's 1 in 10,000.
Jesus Christ!
I wanna throw this stream over to a spreadsheet. Jesus. All right. Game's not over.
As you
Things can
were.
get worse. Okay.
I'll keep tracking that, and I'll keep you
Please
updated
do.
on the,
Please do.
on the situation.
If anyone succeeds, I would be furious. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, Herbert, your Greek's rusty. You just don't know. So this is going to remain uninterpreted. Elsewhere, Martha, you failed a push. No, you were going to push the general. You
I
haven't
was
pushed
going
it.
to,
You're going
unless
to
I
push
get
it.
anything out of this at all.
I mean, you will get a general read for what it is. It's a very, very dry book, which is supposed to be able to tell you, based on what your dreams are, what your mental state was going into them, and how you can, the secrets of the mind whispering at night that you might learn your inner inhibitions, and a whole lot of pseudoscience. Pushing the roll and looking closer might let you get a bit of an insight into James Gardner's mental state, like what he was trying to interpret from these. Up to you. I don't know what pushing would look like.
Potentially accidentally getting a glimpse into your own mental state and losing some sanity.
Yep, I like that. And remembering a dream that you had not too long ago. Go ahead and go ahead and push the roll.
The skill is high here. Your German is 78. There's no way.
It's 60.
Oh, 60. Sorry. Yeah. So that was the base roll.
Oh, finally!
With that extreme.
Well done. It had to happen.
Oh,
All right.
I feel like though. I really hope gods of
That was-
TTRPGs that we will fluctuate between 15 odd failures in a row and then just an extreme
Just gonna
success.
pummel the rest of it. All right. The clock in front of you continues ticking, and you're nearing towards like sort of like midday as you thumb through the book and begin to see what Gardner seemed most interested in. So clearly the man has an obsession with dreams, and based on some of the other books which he'd collected, he was trying to document his own, but it's deeper than that. He was clearly doing something similar to what we would call lucid dreaming today, where he was like kind of in control of himself, and he seemed to believe that he was actually walking into another world while dreaming, something that he referred to as the dreamlands. And bits of this are scattered throughout Freud's book, but it's the notes in the margins that make it most interesting, because Gardner seems to believe that he is actually able to travel elsewhere. And additionally, it seems as if he's been locked off from whatever this was. Whatever he was able to do previously, this dream walking, has been gated from him, and he was getting madder and madder and madder as he tried to just break down this wall that was stopping him from able to enter this like dreaming paradise. So that's part of why he had this book, was him trying to figure out what this stop was, what this block was, and why he couldn't do it anymore. You could go and have a look at the dream journal for a little bit more information, but that's kind of the run of this one. So nice, a success. Let's throw to Rocco briefly. So you're having a dig through the wardrobe. Inside there's like some clothes, some shoes, and at the bottom there is a locked wooden box.
Oh, I like the sound of that. That's where he's hidden my book.
Possibly. I could take a locksmithing roll or a strength roll to just... Yeah.
Well, my locksmith is 1.
So that sounds
my
good.
strength is 50, so I think I will just try to bust it open.
All right.
Well, I'll probably mention. I think my book's in this box. Just gonna bust it open here. No one get alarmed, all right?
Very good.
Anyone posting guard? By the way, does anyone want to watch out the hallway? I think we're all looking a little bit suspicious here. Wouldn't want anyone to bust in.
I can stand out in the hallway. I'll do my best to make sense of this Greek.
Good
Do
call.
I know that there was a dream journal? Sorry? Found?
Yeah, Herbert was showing it off when he said, "These are the books I found."
Oh, wonderful. Then as you walk out the door, I'll be like, Mr. Walker, would you mind if I have a look at that dream journal?
Certainly. The skill of dream interpretation is something of a passion of mine. I'll hand you the journal and head around.
I think Martha's just like, not even paying attention.
I do have a dream interpretation skill as well, if we want to use that.
Yeah, you can
Sounds
definitely...
like something you're making up.
No, I have a dream interpretation skill. Do you want me to roll it? Let's see if it fails. Oh, no, and we don't get to count that
nuts.
success, do we? Because
Yeah, I mean, well, no, just briefly, Herbert, on your dream interpretation skill, you had like a quick skim through it, and you've seen everything that he's got going. You would get a bit of an instinct of what Martha's already learned, which is that clearly the man is obsessed with dreams, believes he can travel to some sort of different state, and was locked off from it, and clearly was driving him a bit batty.
But it doesn't count because apparently that's additional skill 1. That's not even dream interpretation.
Its own thing. Jim's just written whatever he wanted in there. All right, so Herbert Walker steps out and into the hallway, closing the door behind it as you hear smash, and Rocco spikes the lockbox into the ground. Do you want to give me a strength roll? Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It's flipped 15 consecutive successes.
It's happening, baby! One side of the
we
coin, we're
go.
about to see the other. All right, yeah, you spike the thing into the ground, and it lands like perfectly flat. The lock springs off, and the hinge opens. Inside wardrobe. You can see that there is about $130 rolled up bills. There is also a sewing kit and some sort of like some personal grooming items and stuff. There is also a revolver, which has been loaded with 6 bullets, a 32. There is no sign, unfortunately, of your book.
All right, no book in here. And that's all anyone else needs to know.
Are you taking the money?
I would
$130
pocket
not nothing.
I would pocket the money. I owe some money to some not so nice people right now, so I am desperate enough to just pocket that.
The other two are focused on other things. You slide it in your pocket.
I do know that he has nicked something before. Is it reasonable to think that I have half an eye on him, especially spiking a locked box?
That's it. No, he did it with flair. Rocco, make a sleight of hand check. I'm gonna give you a bonus die because Martha, you are doing something else. But I agree, there's a roll to be had.
Also, I am incredibly interested in people, so I probably will be keeping an eye on things.
Nosy.
Interested in people.
Yep, good start.
Oh, with a bonus die.
Bonus die, yep.
Hey.
Now that looks like
Still good. Still good.
Right, we're good now. We're good now. All right,
One, two, 3, 4 in a row.
Martha, you look over at him, and as he pockets the thing in the other hand, he waves the shaving kit and just shrugs, and then puts it back into the box and closes it. What's happening with the gun, Rocco?
Can I have that as well?
Yep, that goes in the other pocket. You're good. Yep, 2 pistols, baby.
I got 2 dual wielding. What kind of gun was it?
It's a 32. Deals a D8 of
32.
damage.
I will make a note of that.
Very good. Okay, going backwards. Martha, you were going to have a look through the dream journal. I would take an occult roll to get much information out of that. Or Cthulhu mythos, but I don't think you have any points in that. So
I don't have any points in occult either.
Ooh. I mean, you can read through it, but it's kind of like gibberish. It's just his own journal and his scrap notes. As this happens, Rocco, can you give me a spot hidden roll, please?
Who, me?
Yes, please.
For the wardrobe? Or
Nope.
I'll just
Actually,
do it, and you can
Herb,
tell me.
Or listen, your preference. Herb, can you also give me a spot hidden or listen? Dealer's choice. I don't think I'm using that right. I don't think it is dealer's choice in this case because I'm the dealer.
You're the dealer.
You're the one choosing. Player's choice.
That's come up in a weird format, but that's a failure.
Yep. Looks like it's just not including what the skill is. So
Alright.
failure from you. Oh wait,
Spot
the first one was your bonus. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yep. Failure from you as well. Okay.
I'll tell you what, I'm curious, and since the rules of statistics seems to have stabilized now, I am suspicious that
Reality is
right when we
returned.
don't want them to, something terrible is going to happen. I am going to give you 20 points of luck, David. I want to succeed.
Okay, all right. 21 points of luck. Boing.
21 points of luck. Ugh.
And I'll have that one, Jim. You'll not trick me again.
Yep.
From out on the landing, there's a large clock. And sort of bong, 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 moves its way towards midday, only seconds away. Downstairs, a door swings open, and you can hear Tommy going, "It's just up this way," and an officer is behind them as he comes to the door. As you turn back and open the room to warn the others, you see the corpse in the center suddenly and then sit up. Right. The vicious, scalped scar that was run along the top begins to unpeel like an apple, or like when you tug on a nail or something, pulling it off as it unwinds around the head, flaying open and revealing a white bloody skull inside. The fingernails lengthen and the bones explode from underneath as they grow into long talons, and the thing whips around, and seeing Martha holding the journal, the mouth opens and it roars. We are going to go to combat, but first, can everyone make a sanity roll, please?
God
As the
damn.
monster rises. Yes! Yes! Yes, baby, yes!
Oh, 100! Oh my god!
Yeah! We're back! Alright, everyone takes a d6 except Herbert, which you take 6. Roll an intelligence check.
Okay, I take 6. I am both temporarily and indefinitely insane, David. All right, let's roll an intelligence check to see how crazy I am. Failure is good in
Damn it.
this position.
Alright, d6 for everyone else. Martha's okay. with quotations around it.
What
Rocco's
if you
also okay.
lose? What is it for indefinite?
It is
of
a
your
fifth
starting.
in one day. Just gonna move a ghosty goblin onto the thing.
I have lost 5, but not all at once.
All right. So let's reset our map. Let me get this handout out of the way. Okay. So let's move. Bookstore owner, you're just coming through the door. You were here and they were here. All right. Who has the highest dexterity? What's everyone's dexes? This creature is slow and it's still sort of like unwinding and stepping
Okay, so
up.
you know how I said my stats were bullshit?
Yeah.
80.
Oh hell yeah! Quick as you like. You're definitely first.
I had a gun in my hand, but that doesn't count as ready, does it?
Not readied. I wouldn't say no. You were kind of pocketing it as this happened.
Now, David, just to cheer you up, as I have just checked in the Call of Cthulhu Keeper rulebook, indefinite insanity does not take a roll. Quote, no investigator is simply able to shrug off this amount of sanity. I am insane. I have a bout of madness.
You are so right, Jim. That absolutely cheers me up. And I was already having a great day, so thank you. I have suggested ones here for a bout of madness. As the bookstore owner, you suddenly become obsessed with getting and keeping a hold of every book which you have found so far, and that includes the one which Martha is currently holding in her hands. Both of them, the Dream Journal and the Sigmund Freud's book. Okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to roll a d10 to see how long that lasts?
Yep, let's do it. Roll 1d10. It's going to be a solid 2 rounds.
It's
Not
a tiny
too bad,
2.
you know.
That's good. All right, Herbert, what's your dex?
40.
Okay, all right. So we are going to go Martha, Rocco, Herb, Monster. Martha, kick us off.
So it looked at me holding the dream journal and screamed. I'm gonna throw the dream journal at it.
Are you just being it? All right, give me a throw roll.
Yeah, all right, cool. I mean, I'm not aiming for it as much as like I just want to get its attention away.
Yeah. No,
You might hit it with the corner.
You'll throw it regardless. It's just.
I do rather like, because I was planning to do this before you told everyone what Herb's insanity is, but now he's gonna have to go get that book.
Let's do that.
You
Do you want
have
a point?
point.
You can have a point. All right. So you whip the book out and across at it. As it lands into it, you would roll. Go ahead and roll a d4 of damage.
I'm not trying to hurt it.
No, I know, but just a happy coincidence. As it hits it, you can see that the scars, which are sort of spiraling patterns all around its arm, torso, everywhere but the head, which sort of unraveled, they glow blue on the impact as if deflecting the blow. And it takes no damage, and as the book rebounds, it lands on the other side of the room, and it's going to go there to get it first. So your throw is kind of frisbeed it off and into the distance, so it's going to take a moment to do that. That said,
Right.
As it's turning to do that, its head clicks backwards like an owl, and it continues to glare at you. You are still its target, you have only slowed it.
Great. Am I allowed to move?
Yeah, definitely. Where do you want to go?
I'm gonna run out the door.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Can you give me a dexterity check just to slide past Herb as he's like standing in the doorway? He watched the book arc through the. Yeah, you're good. Herb watched the book arc through the air like a cat, and is still focused on it as you slide past, and you are in the stairwell heading away.
I'm
all
gonna
right.
start screaming bloody murder for that cup.
Yeah, no, that's also a good show. Rocco, you're up.
All right. I think I've said what I need to say. Okay, I'm gonna call out knowledge ain't power, guns are power. I'm gonna strafe to the door and fire on the monster with my trusty revolver.
Are you pulling out both pistols, as impractical as it is as you say
I
it?
wasn't gonna ask, but can I?
Of course. I don't know that it'll do anything, but just roll your damage.
My 32 revolver I can do 3 attacks with a bonus with penalty die. Is that how it works?
I mean, it makes sense. You could do 2 attacks with 2 guns, right? There is dual wielding rules in Pulp, but we're not.
Yeah, I think it's a pulp thing. I tell you what,
right.
why don't you fan the hammer, and flavor-wise, you're just pulling out both guns and just blasting at it.
No. I'll just spam the hammer with my revolver, and I'll keep the derringer ready.
Okay, no worries.
To pass them to someone else.
So you have
actually, no, sorry.
bonus-
The revolver is the one I found, and that's stronger than my derringer.
Okay, yep, even better.
Yeah.
Actually, I think your Derringer only has like 1 or 2 shots in it as well, because it's a.
I think that's right. Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
one
And
shot.
it's sort of like be holstered in like your sock or something along your leg.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right.
drawing the revolver, you can fire. You will take a penalty dice because you are fanning the hammer. However, because this creature is within your point blank range, bonus dice, you're back to just 3 normal rolls as you.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal. All right, here we
pretty
go.
good. That's good. That's good. 8 damage too. Nice.
Max damage. Well, hey.
Very nice.
All right. Second is a miss.
Gonna luck that.
Last one is I got plenty of luck. You can have 25 points of luck.
Woof. All right.
8
Can
damage.
you
8 damage. 5
or
damage.
spend a similar amount and lock the 37 down to an extreme? Then you get piercing.
Do revolvers
good
pierce?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Impaling damage,
they're-
definitely. I will also say, if you luck down the one that failed, we'll re-roll the damage just so that you can't do it based on like the roll of damage. If you get me, you know.
May as well do the extreme thing, so
Well.
you'll get a guaranteed 8.
Yeah, in that case. So instead of spending 25 points for the miss, I will spend 25 points for the success to make it extreme. So that means I'll do the. Do you want me to
8 plus
reroll?
5.
Mate, you're a
8
weapon.
plus.
No, just 8
Do we
plus
do-
5s. No,
I'll get the 8
you're
plus
right.
5.
You're right. 8 plus 5.
All right, so 1 shot for 8, 1 miss, 1 shot for 13.
Oof. Okay. Math. Got it. So both like
Brain
the
melted.
hits are landing, and even the one that missed hits it. But as it does, this like blue spiraling scarring floods with pulses each time, and the rolls are reduced. However, you got some really good shots in, and that third one was like right in the center, and it overwhelms the shield. The thing gets struck close to fatally, and it wrenches backwards. You can see like shattered bone where like the barrier held, but it just broke through the internal crap inside. That's a medical term. And it
right.
looks pretty wounded as it stumbles around.
Great. So
Nice.
I'm moving toward the door, moving out the door with one arm out to Herb, kind of pushing him back, keeping him behind me.
All
I
right.
don't think that's gonna last.
So you can move to the. You can give me a dexterity check to move past if you'd like.
I'm trying to like keep Herb behind
keep
me.
him. That's going to be an action.
And I feel like that's
unfortunately.
about to. Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I feel like I won't make it out the door until
all right.
Herb takes
You're
his
getting
turn.
yourself kind of in position. All right.
Yeah.
Herb, what do you want to do,
All right.
mate?
Well, in the grand effort of trying to get David to hate what I say, Herb is going to screech, "The ancient texts," or something similar, shove the arm out of the way, sprint in, pause to wink to camera to acknowledge the meme, and I'm going to try and dart around the thing. I'm going to scramble up the book, desperate to have it, and then as I see the monster staggering towards me, if you'll let me, I'd love to swing the book at it with all my
Oh,
strength. and
yes,
just try and
dude.
clock it across the
Make a
face.
fighting roll check, and I'm going to riposte the shit out of you.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, come on,
34.
baby. Let's get some damage on the board.
Because I'm going to give you some luck. You can have. I didn't set verbose, but I need to get that to a 5 to a 5 to be an extreme success. So let me give you 19 points of luck, David. I would like to extremely succeed this.
Okay, all right, done. Record your luck, and you rolled really well, so you've got it to burn. My attack roll, sir. Ah, nuts. All right. The thing like lashes out at you with the claws, and you just smack it right in the skull. Give me your. What's your? I would say a D4. We'll max it to just a flat 4. Now, this wouldn't, and this won't. Actually, no. You specifically said you had the. Roll a d4 for me. Roll a d4.
All right,
Because
sure.
what happens
Roll.
is, as you hit the head, you realize its defensive scars don't extend there. That kind of unraveled, right? So hitting the head deals the full damage. However, it's technically a penalty die to target the head. So we're just gonna say it wasn't an extreme. You just kind of have to bonk him. So 3 damage goes through, no reduction. And with that, he's fairly staggered. All right, it's its turn though, and as it like recoils backwards, the head cracks around. You can hear the vertebra snapping, and then the skin tears as the head does a full 360 and comes right back. It roars again and it lunges at you with its claws. James, would you like to riposte or dodge?
I have to riposte. I couldn't possibly put these books in harm's way unless it is by striking with them.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Do you want to try and aim for the head? It will be a penalty dice.
No, I will take a straight roll, please.
All right, let's do it. Let me get my dice. Let's go. You first.
That's not great.
Do you want to roll any luck?
No. I've spent a lot of my luck, turns out.
Oh, that's funny how that works. Yeah. Ah, damn it. All right. Clearly the curse extends to the cursed creature. Rocco, as you're standing in the doorway, you can hear the police like barreling up the stairs behind you. Herb is backed up against the radiator, like dodging attacks and slamming the thing with the book, and he's beating it into submission. The thing's down on a one knee now. It's almost like holding up its hands in defense as it tries to claw at you occasionally. God damn it. We are back to the top with Martha. What do you want to do? You're out on the landing. The police are barreling up. There's one dude in like a little flat cap, and he's swinging his baton as fast as he can as he rounds the stairwell.
I think Martha is clutching the book, like backed up, like to essentially to get away further.
Yep.
Is screaming almost incoherently and pointing towards the room to try and like get the police inside.
All right.
And then like if and when they go in, she's gonna try and like dart down the stairs and away.
Okay, all right, perfect. You can step away, and as you duck past, you usher the police inwards, and they both arrive on the scene.
On the scene?
Not screen.
Well, they both arrive on the stream too. Because,
Yeah, because here we are. So there's
what's
one of
awesome.
our officers, a patrolman, and let's give us a detective as well. As they both round the corner, I'm gonna make sanity rolls because let's see if we can make this way worse.
Not
Sandy.
Milligan.
Yeah, you may have met him before.
Such a wet blanket.
Sandy. Here we go. So this is for Milligan. Yeah. Damn it.
Oh, Milligan.
Oh.
He's good. He's seen things before you wouldn't believe. Malone. Oh, there are a pair of crack shots. They kick in the door, guns blazing. Say, get on the ground, corpse thing.
Fucking wolf.
Oh yeah, from the last one. Yeah, hell yeah. Scrap Malone. No, actually Scrap Milligan. Yeah, it's absolutely your trench coat wielding detective from the previous adventure. I'm
Kicks
not
down
gonna
the door
put.
being like, mother.
I'm not going to put the child in play because that seems mean, but it's outside. Actually, Martha, you can kind of, the kid, like, in his little detective gear, makes a break for the doorway, and you're like, nope.
Yeah,
Grab the little
I
bastard.
think I'll like, once they're inside, she'll calm down. She's gonna grab Tommy and just be like, no, we can watch from out here. You can see everything going on, but you gotta stay out here with me, all right,
He
Tommy?
goes like, I gotta help. The detective's in there. I gotta help him. I'm a sidekick now. Yeah, you grab the little fella
Wait,
and.
this is just Grease all over.
No, it isn't. Leave me alone. I like chaos children. Okay, that's Martha. Rocco, it's up to you. Now, though, your shot's got more difficult. You're gonna have a penalty dice as the bookstore owner and the as Herb and the Thing are engaged in close combat.
Oh boy. Yeah, and watching all this, I feel like I gotta go for the head.
Okay.
Don't fan the hammer then?
So I think I'm gonna turn to the coppers and say, you gotta hit it in the head. and then I'm gonna have to stride right up close and get a point blank shot.
Oh, hell yes. Execution. It's like down on its knees again. You're going for the execution. So, to go through them, bonus dice for point blank, penalty for head, and another penalty due to Herb's close proximity.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And I will not fan the hammer. I'll just try to get one shot with penalty die.
Go for it.
We are. Dun, dun.
That's lockable. That's lockable.
That is likable.
It's 12 points.
12
Do you want to lock
It
it?
is 12
You'll-
points? You can
I'll
have
have you-
12 points.
So reroll the damage. So roll a D8 or a D8.
Let me just take my luck down from 40 to 28 and D8 of damage. Bam. 4, respectable.
That is just enough.
What?
All right.
What?
So Herb is at the back. He's got the book and he's grappling with it. He like swings it at it. The thing repels with the talons, neither of them wanting to damage the text as he pummels it down to the ground. The cops kick in the door and Martha grapples the child that tries to run into the room as Rocco pulls out the gun and takes 3 steps forward, levels it at the back of the creature's skull, and pulls the trigger. What's the final scene look like, Rocco? What do you say? What do you do? How does it die?
Sometimes the grocer's gotta throw out the old produce. Oh, that got away from me.
That
got
good.
away from me.
That was
Could have been
good.
better.
No, it couldn't have. That was amazing. All right. The corpse slams to the ground, and Herbert, you don't know what came over you. Your sanity restores, and the cops survey the area. The bookshelf has been pretty much dismantled, and books just scatter at the ground. Over on the writing station, you can see multiple envelopes have been opened and gone through. There's a corpse which appeared to have been walking a moment ago, and it just got executed by Rocco and now lays flat on the ground. There's like a beat. Does anyone say anything? Is there?
This feels like the time I want to try and use my 25 in pottery. No, I will say,
Do I need to speak to a lawyer?
I think you might. I think you might. The creature's been defeated, and from here I think it goes to a legal issue. Martha, you were outside of the room when it happened. What's your pitch? What do you say? What are you gonna go with?
As in, like, why was Martha there?
Yeah, well, how do you go? Do you immediately go back to the room and you go, no, I was part of it as well. We're in this together. Team Occult.
I think Martha will sort of, as the police are in, she's gone back down to her room and has stashed the book.
Okay.
And has put the Rocco's letter inside it and stashed the book.
Mm-hmm. That's the
and
Freud dream
Yeah,
interpretation.
and if and when she gets questioned, she'll essentially do the whole, like, I was a concerned neighbor, I just wanted to make sure he was okay, and then, like, this whole thing happened, and I just fled because what else is an old lady like me to do? And that's her whole thing.
I think that'll play.
Is she gonna hand the letter over?
We'll get there when we get there. I don't think we've gotten to this is the denouement. It's
I
not
thought we
yet.
were doing a montage, but that's all right.
We'll do it. You're right.
I will
Let's do it
watch
in-
with rapt attention.
Let's do the immediate. So yeah, do you want to give me a charm check and let's see if you get swept up in the police arrests, or persuade, whatever you
Let me have a look at which one
social
is left
preferences.
it.
Yeah,
Charm is better by a whole 5 points. It's 15.
bloody count that.
Ooh.
38 points.
Would you like to push
Sorry,
it?
33 points.
I have 39. You can have it.
All right, done. So yeah, the officers come up and you just go, no. Yeah, you explain. You just
Do you
weren't
know
really
what
involved.
this is? This is fucking Miss Marple, who's just in everything. Shouldn't be there, and the police are like, "Oh, you again."
You silly old so and so.
She's been at every crime scene in the last week.
Technically, when they
Just
go
happen
back,
to have seen it.
when they get the corkboard out and they run the red string together, there's going to be one connecting dot. It's going to be Martha Birch. All right, so you remove yourself from the investigation. Back in the room, Herbert, you're going to go for the lawyer, given you're found there with a book standing over the dead man.
I was sort of saying will I need to speak to the lawyer? But in all seriousness, I'm gonna say, look, I came in to get my books. I have a legal reason to be here. I have the records of these books. I came in and was attacked. This is quite as simple as that. I was provided with the key. Try and basically say, look, this man's been shot. I don't have a gun. I don't have a weapon. I'm not a fighter.
They also saw Rocco shoot him, so that all tracks. Do you want to give me a law or persuade?
Can't argue a charm.
Or it will not stretch that far.
I'll take it. Is your character charming?
Well, how dare you?
Mechanically, yes. Yeah, go for charm.
charming.
I mean, charm can also just be like disarming. You're just an old man, a lovely old boy.
Just so innocent. Just so innocent.
All right. They've got someone who's probably got a warrant out for him in several states, standing over the corpse with a gun. You were there cowering behind it with a book. They didn't even see you until the creature fell, and you're sitting there shocked with blood splattered across you. They'll say, look, sir, just step outside. We'll get you a cup of tea. We might come back and ask you some questions. But of course, we would have... Obviously, you've had a terrible ordeal today. Why don't you just go and get some raz? And you head outside with 2 of your 4 prized books in your possession. Not too bad. Could have been better.
Bad. I got the one that wanted to be sold. So yeah.
You also know that Martha has the final.
Yes.
All right. As Herbert squeezes out past the door, Detective Wolf kicks the door closed, Rocker, to imply that there will not be so easy an exit for you, sir. What are you saying?
All right, gentlemen, here's how I see it. You could go back down to your station, tell people that some creature made of bones burst out of this fella's skin, covered in all sorts of swirls, glowing all magic-like, and who's gonna believe you? That's a situation we all find ourselves in here. Sure, it'd be a lot easier, I think, if we just pick up this rug and sweep the whole mess under.
Hell yeah.
That's how I want to do things. Trying to intimidate, but it came out a bit too persuasive, I think.
Yeah, right at the end you go, or I'll kill you. And then now it's clear. All right, yeah.
But I've also got 2 guns on full display here.
Yeah, dude, you're the coolest thing these people have ever seen.
And I'm covered in blood, and I was the one who killed this thing. Is that worth a bonus on Intimidate?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Take a bonus die. Wait, before you roll. All right, so straight success. Fuck, just roll. We'll figure it out as it goes. Semantics. Roll down.
All right, here we go.
Oh, you beauty. That could be a crit.
Have I got 1 point of luck? I do. Extreme. Oh no, crit? I can go for a crit.
It's there if you want it.
There's all my luck. Well, actually, it's only 10 points of luck. Yeah, sold.
So,
Rocco runs the cops in this town.
I think generally, yeah, you've got Malone, you've already got on the books, so he's not going to push anything. He immediately holsters his gun and he's keeping an eye on the new guy, Wolf, detective, to make sure he isn't going to try anything funny. But Wolf, holding the gun, holsters it, says something really cool, like, there's more to this world than any of us will know, partner. Let's get this body buried. And you'll work with them to roll it up, chuck it out the window into a passing trash collecting van. Gets dumped in and rolls out of there. You spend a few minutes cleaning up the crime scene, and then you get the card from Wolf. And it's like, if you ever see anything weird, you get in contact with me, which you can pocket. And hell yeah. That was fucking sweet.
Did I have time to find my accounting books after all that? My receipts?
No, you got no idea where they are.
But you got a bunch
No.
of money. That might help.
Yeah, no, and this is a
true.
straight up crime scene now. None of you are getting back in here
Damn.
as the real cops swarm the area. They will be confused for a time, and everyone has to climb up and make sure that nothing gets back to you. But yeah, I mean, we didn't really solve anything, but you sure killed that ghost, huh, guys?
Sure did.
That was a bizarre session, I think I can say.
Just for if we do want to go like full.
Yeah. Hit
I'm
me
sure
with it.
people are curious what happens to the book and the letters.
Always.
As the two of you aren't now involved with the police, which is the important thing, Martha will separately approach both of you and just be like, just to let you know, I was able to recover some of the things that perhaps you were thought were important. I would, a reward wouldn't go astray for something like this. I am a little short on rent this month, you see, and well, we all help each other. It is a community after all. And I'll give Herb his book.
Right.
And I'll say, now I'm not sure what's in here, Mr. Rocco, but you seem like the kind of man who likes to keep things hush. And I'll hand over the unopened letter, but with kind of like there's a slight like tug as you take it. It's just like, just remember this, will you?
Can I do a sleight of hand to put a crisp $50 bill in Martha's hand?
Yeah, get a sleight of hand roll. I love sleight of hand. It's the best skill. All right.
Martha
Yep.
opens her hand to find an
An
oh, here's a
origami
present with
crane.
50.
I think
A
she sort of like
$50
pockets
note.
and it's just like, that is very kind of you, Mr. Rocco.
And just for context, I mean, it'd be
didn't-
about $15 a month for rent. So that is very generous from the
Pretty
grocer.
good. Pretty good.
Yeah,
You didn't
Is that
see
like-
nothing.
not at all.
I will complete my rare sale and make a similar donation as well. But if I can add a little spooky epilogue to my own part, as I was looking through my character sheet, I realized that Herb has some Cthulhu mythos.
Oh, does he?
Yes, Herb knew. He knew all along. And as he brings the book that contains the spell, he pulls out a sort of parchment and experiment number 6 went as the others, repeating for number 7, and we'll sell it to the new person for a fortune. And
Oh,
sit.
no.
Oh no!
That's good. That's really good.
It was
fantastic.
Herb all along.
He's creepy. Hell yeah.
But charming.
No,
But
I
charming.
really like that. You've got the disarming, like, older dude. No, nothing to go awry. That's fantastic. All right. Rocco, any final steps?
Hope I don't get whacked because I didn't get my accounting books.
Do you go on the lam, or do you double down? Do you try and secure this part of Rhode Island? You're like, this is my town. I think it's Rhode Island.
I got-
Providence.
Yeah, Providence. I got some money to help keep my head above water. I'm going to try to salvage things. If anything, the accounting books going missing buys me a little bit more time, perhaps.
You do it legitimately.
Um,
Well, legitimately.
Yeah. No, yeah, I feel like I've extended my stay a little bit, but without James to help me cook the books, I might have to scarper before
Didn't
long.
Martha have accounting skill? Do you
I
want to
have
do the
50
mob,
in
Martha?
accounting.
Really?
Yes.
I got a business proposition for you. Very lucrative. We deal in grains.
Why don't you come in and have a cup of tea, love?
Ah.
All right, fantastic. Martha joins the mob. Herbert's the killer. Rocco gets by another day. All right, well, fantastic, guys. That was a really fun session and an absolute
Dave. That
fucking
was great.
disaster. You solved, I would say, 0% of the mystery of what happened, why, how, anything. But boy, howdy, did you shoot that monster dead? And yeah, full
Isn't that the real
commendations for it.
mystery? That's the real mystery behind every Call of Cthulhu
If
story.
you
So
survive
how do
a
you-
scenario, you win.
How do you shoot the monster dead?
That's
I
it.
feel-
That's the mystery that matters.
I feel like if this was like a campaign, because you get the rewards if you like solve what happened, we would just be like, nope, no, we lived. That's our reward.
That is it. All right. Well, thanks guys for playing, and thank you everyone for watching. This, like all the other Gateways to Terror and other videos we do, will be up on the YouTube shortly. So if you can share it or just enjoy it. That's Gateways to Terror done though, and up next we're going to be jumping into Mansions of Madness, which is a whole series of books where people go to spooky locations and figure out what's happened, or with this group probably uncover nothing and shoot everything. We'll see how it goes, but we'll be back next week as we jump into that. So thank you, and we'll see you shortly. Bye-bye.